Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome to another client success interview. Today we have Marissa Carr, who I'm very, very excited to bring to this interview. She just went through the Takeover program, and she was actually one of the people who actually helped me build out the systems and processes for this program. And so, what we're going to do is talk a little bit about what her situation was like before joining Takeover and what her life is like now, because I'll tell you what, it is two completely different kind of lives. She was starting out in the Pacific Northwest, out in, I guess, rainy Seattle, and now she's down in sunny San Diego. So, Marissa, thank you so much for hopping on. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself and how you got started with Takeover?
For sure, yeah. So let's see, it's been like 6 months working with Zach now. Definitely facts. My life was very different, and I prefer the version that I'm in right now. I started just 6 clients and doing one-on-one coaching, but like really ready for the next level. And I was aware of Zach through Megan, and I was just like stalking your Instagram for a solid month or two and going back and like watching your content and being like, man, okay, yeah, I feel like this might be my guy. And then the first conversation on the phone with you, I just knew. So
I
I'm
love
so
it.
happy to be where I'm at now with 30 clients.
Yeah, no, we're going to talk about the success of your business. Marissa, she went from 6 clients to 30 clients, now making, 10K plus months with the whole team. So we're going to get there first. But first, how did you get into fitness coaching? I know you've had, you used to travel a lot, used to live in, Bali. It was Bali or Thailand?
Oh, yeah.
Bali. Okay. So how did you get into fitness coaching? How did you get into owning your own business, and where did that come from?
Yeah, I knew I wanted to help people. I knew I wanted to be a coach. I had a passion for fitness, and I kind of just had to make a decision, leaving my corporate 9 to 5, which was soul sucking for me and like so not aligned. So I was living in Bali for a year and wanted that flexibility and freedom. I was training people in the gym a little bit. It just didn't light me up as much. And I've always really loved the flexibility aspect of um, an online job. So I was doing a bit of online English teaching. It just wasn't really paying the bills.
Mm,
And that's where, like in Bali, I was surrounded by online coaches. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to niche down on fitness. I'm going to do this. I just had no idea anything about sales, business, generating clients. So I started with like small free in-person boot camps and working with a couple clients in the gym. I had no idea how to price my products or anything. So that's where I started, and then worked with a coach before Zach. Definitely have loved working with Zach the most of all the mentors I've had. So it's scaled over the last couple of years. It's taken,
beautiful.
yeah,
I love the one thing I love about your story is that it's one of those stories where it's like it's never too late to start something new. Like
okay.
you've definitely gone down the corporate path. You've done some own trailblazing for yourself. So that's pretty awesome to see that like at any given point you can start over and start something brand new.
Yeah.
Um, but there's one thing I wanted to ask you too. I do remember when you and I first got in contact with each other, you were on the phone with multiple different coaches and you're going to have a couple different calls. So
Yeah.
what was it about Takeover and working, with PTBI that stood out over all the other calls?
Yeah, for sure. It was you. It was one-on-one coaching. I think I just realized what works really well for me is one-on-one. Like most of the coaches in Takeover, we offer one-on-one coaching.
Mhm.
Why? Because it works. Like I'm not trying to offer some sort of Alive with Whitney Simmons program. Like that's great, but that just doesn't work for people. It doesn't get them the same transformation. So I explored a couple other programs where the offer was compelling. The sale was really good. They had like 6 different specialists on the team offering you support in different areas, but you didn't have one point of contact, one relationship. And that's where I think just working with you and knowing it was just you and that you were always going to be there for me if I needed anything, that was really compelling. Working coaching with you, like having our calls, has been really, really helpful for me, just that accountability. And you were just super relaxed. Like there was no pressure. You were like, all right, cool. Let me know how I can help. Like you'll make the decision that's right for you. And that for me, I was like, okay, this feels good. You were really casual and confident in Takeover. It just felt right of all the coaches I considered. I just,
Awesome. I love it. Well,
yeah.
we definitely did. We laid out a lot of groundwork. Over the last couple months, we've hired you a virtual assistant who is completely outsourced your DM outreach. We've outsourced assistant coach, which is outsourced a lot of the programming and workouts that you've been doing.
Yeah.
What did you learn through this process about yourself and about your business that you didn't realize you or anticipate before going through the program?
Yeah, one of the lessons that really stuck with me was the hamster wheel and realizing that that was totally me. Like, and I've seen people 10 years down the road in their business too, and they're still like yesterday out at the pool, someone was just telling me, she's like 10 years into her business. And she's like, yeah, unless I hustle and grind, my business doesn't make money.
Mhm.
I don't want a business that's set up like that. I want a business where I can go on vacation and the system runs itself. So that was like hugely enlightening for me. And I think I just realized about myself that I hold on and try to control so much of my business, but it's actually been in letting go of things and delegating and trusting in the people that I've hired. That's really where we've finally gotten to 10K months. It hasn't been me doing it all on my own.
Yeah.
So
No, and your growth of the last couple months in revenue has literally like been month after month just exponentially growing compared to the last month.
yeah,
Um,
it's cool.
so my question for you is what were your tasks and what were you doing before takeover with your business? And what are your tasks and what do you focus on now that you have systems in place and you actually have a system that runs on its own?
Yeah, I was spending a lot of time with things like client messages and building relationships with current clients and making my current program better. And that's great and fine and good. And we should be offering a ton of value for sure. It generates referrals and it's just really important to have a quality product. But I think that sometimes people who really want to help and add value, like me, get lost in making that their obsession and not focusing on how they're going to help more people and connect with more people. I think also it's easy to get lost in like, putting out really cool and fun content. But if you're not actually forming connections and offering help to people, then the business won't grow. So that's where outreach and having a script and a system, as soon as I got on that myself before I hired my virtual assistant, Mary, I started converting people and bringing on cold leads for the first time into my business. They weren't just my family and friends and referrals, they were actually like completely cold. So the scripts work and following a process and just being consistent with outreach with you for the first time was what took the business to the next level.
I love that. I love that. So we built the systems, we built the scripts, and outsourced it with the virtual assistant. Um, Something that you said multiple times that I want to highlight and talk about is that you before you came to me, you're like, I like fitness, but it's something that I definitely want to grow out of. And then now you're like, I'm having more fun in my fitness business than I ever have. So
Yeah.
what changed for you?
I think that for me, like I'm very ambitious, very driven, and I have big goals and a huge vision. And so I've always looked at fitness models versus business coaching models and been like, okay, where can I make more cash? Biz coaching.
Hmm.
But actually, there's people out there making a shit ton of money as fitness coaches. And I think I've just finally settled in to where I'm at now and accepted like there's a whole set of lessons that come along with the phase I'm in right now. And if it evolves into business coaching, amazing. But this is where I'm at today, here,
Hmm.
now. And I need to learn these lessons at this level before I move to something else. It's not going to help to just jump and pivot to biz coaching. Like the lessons that I need to learn are here. So
Wow. I will say you sound like a business coach. That's definitely some philosophical shit. So that's really awesome to hear. So here's my question. Were you nervous to hire an assistant coach? Were you nervous to hire a virtual assistant? Were you nervous to hire any of these roles and, hand off your tasks?
yeah, I definitely had my trepidations for hiring an assistant coach. I mean, your clients like your business is your baby and your clients are everything. So I was nervous that I wouldn't be able to find somebody with as much like integrity and care as I have. I really coach from the heart. And I actually found somebody who does maybe an even better job.
That's always the interesting thing, huh?
Yes. And like boundaries are sometimes hard for me. Like I give so much and like too much support almost to my clients. And so that's where I've been able to actually help coach Lily on boundaries better than I ever even did it myself. So it's really fun to manage a team. With Mary, I was concerned about the small little things about like typos in my DMs. It's like you start to realize that those things don't actually matter that much.
Yeah.
I actually personally make typos too. So I think I was expecting perfection, even though I'm not perfect anyways. again, she's been better than I could be. So
Yeah. And just for everyone listening here, Mary is her virtual assistant that we helped to hire through the Philippines. I know you were pretty nervous about hiring a overseas virtual assistant. You really wanted to stick with someone, in the United States, which I feel like a lot of people have that misconception of being like, I want to hire someone from the United States, but I'm always like, trust me, the Philippines is the way to go. What's
yeah.
your experience been like, working with Mary, getting her on board and now having her a part of your team?
Yeah, I think it's just like realizing that business is a numbers game and actually conceptualizing that and seeing that play out. If she's sending 50 DMs a day and I personally only have the bandwidth to send 10, one is going to be more effective than the other. And
Mm-hmm.
I thought for a long time that if I just poured my heart into the most quality conversations in the DMs, that they would turn into clients. But I'm starting to realize there's like a happy balance. We can create a really great script that asks questions that get people to really open up. And it doesn't have to be me
Mm-hmm.
responding. So I think it's just, again, like letting go and trusting in the processes and the systems we're creating and the scripts that we're creating to work, and realizing it's actually better for me to be a little more hands off
I
because,
love it.
yeah.
And that right there is a transformation in of itself. Like for a business owner to go from I need to do everything myself to I don't have to do everything myself is huge. And
Yeah.
what's that done for your time? Do you have more free time now?
Yeah, I have a lot of free time and I actually need to like motivate myself to get back on my horse because I'm like chilling at the pool a lot.
Yeah.
So now comes a new phase of learning of like, okay, how can I keep myself accountable? Because I do have free time. Lily's managing my clients, Mary's managing DMs. And if I don't have a call or a couple calls in a day, it's like I might go off and play a little bit too much. So I'm kind of finding that balance. Now, I definitely have the work-life balance that I told you I wanted 6 months ago.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. Job well done. So you've seen a really amazing transformation. You've grown your business from 6 clients to over 30 clients, and you're not even having to coach all of them yourself. You have an assistant coach, you have a virtual assistant doing outreach. Like all these are so many great things. What would you say for anybody who is in your position 6 months ago, who is thinking about takeover, thinking about scaling, but is nervous to hire? What kind of advice would you give?
That's a great question. Um, I feel like the biggest lesson I've learned is just that I have to let go to receive.
Mm-hmm.
You got to surrender to receive, and you got to let go of some of the aspects of your business. And when you're holding on and gripping so tight and thinking you have to be involved in everything and you have to do everything, you're getting in your own way. So I think that like delegating and passing off a lot of the business to other people has been the best thing for me. And it's freed up so much time and definitely gotten a lot more cash flow, a lot more clients. And now we're able to help a lot more people because I was able to let go. So I think for me, it was never scary to make the financial investment. Like I believe in myself a lot. And I think that that's different for some people. It's like, wow, am I really going to be able to make this back? And it's like, you will make it back
Mm-hmm.
times so many. Like it's not a question. You will make it back. Absolutely. I think everyone in the program probably does, but for me, it was just hard to let go and I wanted it to be perfect,
Yeah.
but it's definitely better now than it ever has been before. So
I have one more question for you.
mm,
What lessons or what do you think you learned that that's gonna stick with you long term? Like, what do you think you're gonna take with you for the rest of your life through this program?
mm. Dude, I feel like this is probably like surprising for you to hear. I'm definitely very money driven,
Mm-hmm.
but per our conversation last week, like I'm realizing it's not about the money. And I'm at 10K now and I'm going to be at 100K someday, or maybe
Mm-hmm.
even $1 million months. Like I've seen that happen for people. And I guess it really does come back down to the transformation for me. Like
Mm-hmm.
as soon as I got to this place where I'm meeting my needs and I've achieved sort of the lifestyle that I wanted, now I just realize we continue to copy and paste
Yep.
the same processes until we continue to grow to
It's
100.
that really is it. It's like I was literally just about to tell you that, like, let's say that your entire business disappeared tomorrow, you would know exactly what pieces to put into place to get right back where you were, which is pretty
Yeah,
cool.
absolutely. Yeah, so I've learned a ton about business and sales and everything. But I guess it just brings me back to the reason that I started doing all of this initially, which is just to help people, just
Mhm.
help them create transformations in their lives. So
I love that.
yeah,
I love
it's
it.
pretty pure.
Where can people find you online?
Movewithmar.co, or my Instagram is better.
Perfect. What's your Instagram?
Move.with.mar.
Awesome. Awesome. Marissa, thank you so much. Everybody who's listening, peace.